everyone, I'm Jacob. I play Tithla. She's a ranger. Tithla's in Barovia because she's tagged along with some friends and somebody needs to look after them.
Hello, I'm Josh, and I shall be playing Killian Maxwell, a elf celestial warlock who has been travelling around Barovia for a little while and has joined up with the Tempest Guild to try and find his place.
G'day, my name's Tom. I'm playing Jonor, the Aasimar divination wizard. He is here to find the best and the worst of this world, and he's doing it with a bit of naivety and optimism.
Hello, I am Raph, and I'm playing Styx, who is a Gloomforged Paladin, on the journey of rediscovering themselves, quite literally, in the land of Barovia.
Hi, I'm Ash. I play Axel, the gnome fighter, and I'm a master of the shield and a master with Trident.
Hi, I'm Matt. I'm playing Blood Gorson, Path of the World Tree Barbarian.
And I'm Owen, the Dungeon Master of our Curse of Strahd 5th edition campaign. A warning, gentle viewer. Curse of Strahd is a horror-themed Dungeons & Dragons campaign, which means you may hear adult language or adult themes throughout this episode. Hello! Hello! Hello, everybody. It is lovely to see all of your gorgeous faces once again. We are excited to be here. We have an almost full house. Raph is unable to join us tonight, which is why you won't see him on the overlay if you're watching on YouTube or watching on Twitch. If you're listening to the podcast, it means you're going to have to hear my version of Styx's voice, unfortunately. I do my best, but I don't do it as well as Raph, obviously. We've got
possibly Grinner?
Possibly Grinner as well. I do a better Grinner, I have to say. I think my impersonation of Grinner's a bit better than my impersonation of Styx. We'll see. We'll see where tonight takes us, hey? We are super keen to be back. Really, really excited. Got a really, really good episode coming for you tonight. Quick behind the scenes. There is a new character joining us for our Return of the Giants on Wednesday. I'm trying to get the artwork done as soon as possible. I'll have the information on that coming soon. We'll have that pop up, hopefully, in the next day or so. And there has been a brand new update to the Wandering Village. I am going to record the new story mode, which looks really, really fun. So I'll have that up on YouTube as well as soon as possible. Otherwise, there'll be more Bard to the Bone, which is our Baldur's Gate 3 Bard-only playthrough. I'll have that dropping as well as we record new episodes. And last week, Jacob threatened to cancel us if we hadn't watched any of Andor. I am excited to report I have now watched the first 3 episodes of Andor. And I do quite like... I am enjoying it. It's very good. It is very good. It's a good call.
I know.
I was going to make a snide comment about, like, I was going to call him like Caster Sugar or something like that and get his name wrong again, but I don't really have the... I've already teased you enough tonight about that, Jake. It's just a good show. It's a good show.
You really are trying to get cancelled tonight, aren't you, Owen? First Andor. Well, first Crocodiles, now Andor.
Wow. I think my favorite was Ash coming in and being like, "Oh, it's Andor. It's a programming subroutine." The slash. That was quite good. I enjoyed that. That was very funny. We were sending Jacob stupid questions about Andor during the week to try and tease him. Trying to remember what some of the questions we asked were. They were quite entertaining. What exactly is an Andor? When does War in Stars start? Yeah, we're having a lot of fun with it.
Some of us were.
Sorry, mate. Yeah, some of us were. That's very true. Some of us were having a lot of fun at your expense as well, I should add. I really just want to hammer that one in. Yeah, very much enjoying that. And the other exciting news, I just remembered, there's a brand new Kickstarter for some new Avatar Legends stuff coming out. There's a new module. I'm trying to remember the name. I think it's the Voyage of the... It's so bad that I'm unprepared for this. The new Kickstarter module looks really, really interesting. Voyage of the Unity. I thought it was that. Voyage of the Unity, which looks really interesting. I will check it out and we'll talk a little bit more about it before our Avatar stream on Tuesday. We will potentially consider doing a playthrough of that. It looks like a really interesting module. And so far, we've only done homebrew. And there's all these really interesting adventures already pre-written that we should probably dive into. So I'll keep you posted about that as well. Any other fun, exciting news before we start? Otherwise, it looks like we're all ready to rock and roll.
No, I just recently found a gift card from 2 years ago from a birthday that I just spent. So living life.
It was still in date? Because they normally have like an expiry of about 1 to 2 years, don't they?
Well, Australia changed the law 3 years, baby.
Fuck yeah. Thank you, ACCC. I'm guessing that's an ACCC ruling.
Yeah, we'll go with it. That's the Australian Consumer Affairs people for anyone who's not up to date with their Australian consumer laws.
They're the ones who sued Thermomix for multi-millions for Thermomix false advertising. And basically destroyed Thermomix in Australia for like 4 years, which is quite entertaining. Yeah, our consumer protection affairs in this country is very good, and they are very militant. And if they get a whiff of something they don't like, they have an army of lawyers who descend upon that company and tear it to pieces.
And they enjoy what they do.
They really do. I actually know someone who works as a investigations officer for the ACCC. She thoroughly enjoys her job. Yeah. Yeah. She's very well placed.
At work, watching the ACCC with the supermarkets and the old CEO at Woolies. That was great. Not being able to answer a question about how much you make is it's quite entertaining.
Oh man, yeah. They did not hold back on any of the CEOs. It was very entertaining.
It's great.
Love the ACCC. Awesome. I think let's do our recap and let's jump into the session then without any further ado. Our series has been following the adventures of the Tempest Adventuring Guild, Theo, Jonor, Tithla, Styx, Killian, and new allies Blood and Axel. Having become trapped within the realm of Barovia while searching for some missing adventurers, the team have travelled to the far north, climbing the foothills of Mount Baratok in the hopes of finding and potentially allying with the mad mage residing there. After taking out Kirill, usurper leader of the werewolf pack, the team have successfully turned the werewolves of Barovia against both Strahd and Sergei. However, the children who had been taken by Kirill's loyalists had been mistakenly slain by the party's hand while they were in wolven form, devastating Tithla. It was at this moment that Theo returned from the village of Barovia, burdened with a warning. A small army of vampire spawn had been gathering behind the walls of Castle Ravenloft, and while the village was safe for the moment, he was concerned what this might mean for the future. Debating how best to proceed, Theo also revealed he could bring back the recently slain from death, the team now discussing who they should try and bring back first, or whether to seek help from the abbot with this instead. Deciding to travel with the werewolves to Mount Baratok and attempt to recruit the Mad Mage, the team travelled through the night while Styx transported the bodies of the other children to the Abbey. Approaching the lair of the Mad Mage, the team climbed the old goat track winding around the side of the mountain, rising above the layer of mist and stepping out onto a small rocky platform. Deciding to announce themselves, Theo pulled out his war horn and played a little ditty, the music echoing out across the valley below. All around them, the dark clouds above the mountain began to coalesce, drawing closer and closer, lightning flashing around them. Suddenly, a figure dropped from the skies above, framed by the lightning flashes, and called out to the team. Jonor immediately recognized the figure as an older and clearly unstable Victor Velakovich, who the team had last seen apparently disintegrated by his own magic following a counterspell by Jonor. Trying their very best to communicate through Victor's madness and aggression, Jonor and Killian used suggestion and counterspell to force him to transport them all to the Abbey of Saint Markovia. With the Mad Mage pinned down by Axel and silenced with Tithla's magic, the others quickly brought the abbot over to restore Victor's mind. We left off last session as the team discussed their next options, learning that the abbot had enough supplies to cast Reincarnate only 3 times, and that the more time has passed, the harder it is to bring the soul back. The presence and powers of these dark powers was also weighing heavy on the minds of the team, questioning Victor about his understanding of these malicious entities and how they might break the connection to Strahd and Sergei. That is where we left off last session. We're going to jump straight back in. Jonor, you had left with Victor to go and spend a bit of time looking through this book of planar travel, focused on the spheres and travel between them. Axel, you were currently patrolling the edges of the Abbey. The central building is obviously intact, but the walls around the outside have been somewhat destroyed. I think you had kind of taken charge a little bit of the mongrel folk, helping them to rebuild the walls, gather supplies, and set up essentially a bit of a checkpoint for those coming and going from the Abbey. Tithla had gone with Theo to go have a bit of a rest. Tithla was going to catch up with Luther. Killian, were you going with Jonor and Victor?
No, I went with Blood and Axel to do perimeter checks on everything.
Gotcha.
And show them
awesome.
around.
And that's right. I tentatively said that Blood. So obviously, Matt, you went with us last session. During the fight with Victor Velakovich, the Mad Mage, Blood was banished temporarily. That's how I had Blood not have to be in the fight without any issues. By the time Blood was brought back from banish, Victor had already had his mind restored by the abbot, and the madness had been quelled. So shall we say? So. Nice. where we kind of left off with Blood is you'd been brought to the Abbey. The abbot, this very, very tall, bald man with glowing golden eyes, dressed in priest's robes, had welcomed everyone and had then gone back inside to see what he could do about potentially locating a liver of one of the party's friends. And that, to you, was kind of a bit like, what the fuck? But I didn't have Blood ask too many questions at that point. There was a lot going on, and I figured Blood would kind of have some follow-up questions when he got back. Axel had gone off to go and see to the defenses of the Abbey. To describe and to give you like an idea of what the Abbey looks like, the large central stone building is surrounded by crumbling walls, smaller buildings that probably were once parts of houses, maybe even sections of adjoining buildings, but in a perfect sphere around the borders of the Abbey. These buildings have been cut in half. It's almost like someone carved out a section of a town around a church, picked it up and put it in Barovia. You can even see where stone and the land, they don't line up with the stone and land here. This whole area is like a plateau stuck to the side of a mountaintop, and the rock is a completely different color. The stone around it's a completely different shade. There's clay and soil around the mountain, this hard stone around the Abbey. Something weird and magical happened here, involving probably teleportation magic from the looks of it.
Is it safe to assume the architecture is a different style to what you would typically find
different.
Okay.
Yeah, this looks like it's from somewhere else entirely. A lot of imagery of sun and the symbol of symbology of the sun. You've heard this referred to as the Abbey of Saint Markovia. You've never heard of a Saint Markovia before, but the imagery to you looks very Lysandan, looks very much like goddess of the sun. But it depicts a male figure instead. Seems like this is some variant of Lysander, possibly, like maybe from what you've overheard, seems like maybe in other places, in other planes, Lysander there's a male counterpart or a male version. Seems like the goddess, god and goddesses, their appearance depends on where they are. So yeah, this seems like it's very much devoted to the goddess or god of the sun, Lythander, in this universe. So what was that a pretty fair assumption that Blood would probably go with Axel and have a bit of a check out? Or did you want to have a bit of an explore? I mean, you can see there are a number of humanoids moving around this place, but misshapen, very asymmetric humans with bestial features. You see a man run past with one ear of a donkey, the nose, snout of a pig, and then one like snake eye with scales around it, one long tentacled octopus arm on his right side, and then a clawed wolven hand on the other. These people who are moving about, you hear the abbot refer to them as mongrel folk. They seem very much like humans, but warped by some magic or some event. You're not sure. They look very human, like a little bit like shifters, but with this very inconsistent kind of setup. I mean, one of the mongrel folk who runs past a woman has like 3 crab legs on one side of her body, and then like just a normal human leg on the other, and it is really hard for her to walk. Whatever this is, it's not intentional. You think it doesn't look like it's deliberate for them. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I guess if I'm with Axel and probably Killian, and I might just ask Killian, Killian, have you met these folk before?
Yes, everybody here is quite nice. Some of their appearances can be a little bit jarring, but they're all really nice people.
Oh, okay. You know what happened to them?
I believe, and I might be wrong on this, but I believe some of them were experimented on by the abbot when he was not fit of mind.
I hear that.
They had hereditary ailment and all of that sort of stuff, and that was his way of trying to. He was slightly misguided.
Oh, okay. And Abbott is okay now, yes? He seems okay.
So he's okay now. There was a ceremony performed mainly by Jonor and our friend Luther, who is over there somewhere. It's a friend for you to meet.
Okay.
I helped a little bit, but it was mainly them two who did that, and they managed to clear the darkness from his mind. A bit similar to what happened with Victor a moment ago, although you weren't here for it.
Oh, yes. Well, all blood know is blood get transported and miss out on much. That seems okay now.
I'll check some pictures of some of the mongrel folk that you pass by in Roll20.
Wasn't one of them named?
All of them are named. But the one you had spent the most time talking to was Otto. The one with the yellow smock. He's got the kind of wolfen muzzle, very like a donkey's tail, donkey's ear, and these almost like bear claw feet. Otto Bellevue.
I think because I spent a bit of time here when everybody else went to deal with the druids on Yester Hill, I think I've learned. I think I would have learned everybody's names, so I will tell Blood and Axel everybody's names. Don't worry, Aaron. I'm not going to ask you to name every single mongrel, but I'm just going to point at them and say that's Cedric, that's this one, that's this one, that's that one over there's Otto.
There's Mishka, Otto, Siegfried. Yeah, as you walk past Otto, Otto goes, hello, friends. Welcome.
Oh, hello. Otto?
Otto, you have come to gaze upon the magnificent Otto. And he stands up on his legs, like pushing his chest out, looking proud, before suddenly collapsing again under his own weight, crouching back down again.
Impressive. Very good.
Yes. You come to help.
Axel and I are here to help with, and also you met Killian, obviously. We're here to help.
Hello, Killian. Hello.
Hello, Otto. These are new friends of ours. They are incredibly skilled fighters.
We good. We have some work we are doing on tower and walls, and some of us are training with spear and scythe.
We can help with that. I have a question. Do you have enough tools? Like, I see the work that is being done here and the weapons, and I can assist with that for the work that's being done around the repairs of the walls. Do we have enough shovels and tools of that nature?
We have good number of shovels and picks and hoes, but if we had more weapons, spears are rusty, yes. Rusty. Some of items are not well cared for. You have forge? You work forge. We have forge. You can work forge.
Blood is not as well versed with forge as he is with sailing. But Blood can use strength, yes, to lift in heavy metal, rock. I can assist if Axel, do you work forge? We haven't talked about that.
I know how to repair my own gear and my weapons, but I'm not really one to sit at the forge for hours on end. But I could fix some tools and weapons as we need it. I can also help out with smaller traps and things to that nature. I can craft little lanterns and flasks and bells and traps.
If it is shoring up defenses, Blood can lift heavy stones, maybe help with the wall, or you said the tower. Blood could help with that.
Yes, making watchtower for archers to hide and pling bows. Yes, come. You come with Otto, Blood, Otto, Axel. Yes, friend Axel. Inside, right hand turn, go to edge of wall. You will see forge. You may help crafting. Yes.
Sure. Not a
problem. Yes, and Killian, you help. What would you like to do? How could you help?
I can go in either place. I don't mind which. I can help in either way. Wherever you feel that I am best, where my skills are best useful, Otto.
You come with Blood and Otto. We will do things. Yes, we will work. You, your magic blast, you call Eldritch. The glowy pistol. Yes, good for blasting rock. We have some sections need to clear. You could.
Yeah,
Yes?
I have been practicing with trying to have it more focused so that I can do particular types of shaping with it. So yes, I could try and shape the stone to fit where we need it.
Yes, good. Come. You come with Otto. Blood. Killian, come. Axel, if you get lost, just ask for Forge. Good. Come.
Perfect. Axel, could I please get a sleight of hand check from you? Blood, could I please get a athletics check? Killian, could I get a spellcasting check? See what we get on our rolls to see how well you are helping. Oh dear.
Oh,
That is a 4. Oh, sorry.
It's okay.
26. It's also a bad roll. Like, even if you got like a +4 to that, it still would have been sub 10. 26 from Killian. Very, very nice. Axel, as you go over to help with the forge, I'm going to say that it's not even that you aren't helpful. It's that you go to the entire wrong place. And what you think is like a pile of things to be repaired is actually just garbage. And you're there like pottering away, trying to get this garbage to like do what you need it to do. You're trying to make like little like sections of a repaired shovel out of these broken sections. And like you think he's just like, man, the supplies they've got here are pretty meager. And after about 2 hours, another mongrel folk walks past you. The one Killian pointed and called Cedric. This much more like lizard-like mongrel folk. And as Cedric sort of wanders over, you watch as they sort of pause, cock their head and watch you for a minute or two before sort of going,
What's it doing? What's doing?
Just fixing these weapons and tools as best I can, but it's just such slim pickings here. This desolate, sad place.
This garbage. You fix garbage?
This garbage, yes. Wait, what? The garbage?
This,
no,
this
I got
is where
told
we
this
dump
is-
garbage and shit. This rubbish and shithole. We dump stuff here.
Yes, that makes sense. It makes sense that I couldn't tell the difference between this shithole and the forge.
You sitting on stool.
dude.
That is cover to shithole where we dump
Yes.
the shit.
This place is all a shithole to me compared to my home. Could you help me, Cedric? I'm here
That's
to help
rude.
with the
That's
tools,
rude.
weapons.
No, so rude, guest. Calling this shithole.
Cedric sort of wanders off muttering to himself, looking a bit insulted.
Okay.
He doesn't get very far as you call out, like,
think-
can you please
yeah.
direct me? Cedric's,
Fine, rude guest. Come. Yes, rude guest.
perfect. 26 from Killian. Yeah, Killian, just expertly where you're told to shoot, you very expertly start chipping away at sections of the rock where part of the wall has fallen in and the rubble needs to be like cleared out and removed. You're there able to very expertly take out those sections of wall and then allow the mongrel folk to come in and help clear it out. Blood with a 25, Blood, you're easily there able to assist and help with that, carrying large amounts of exceptionally heavy masonry and stonework, moving them aside. And over the next sort of hour or so, you repair 2 of the major holes in the wall and get to work starting on the watchtower. Jonor, Theo, Tithla. Let's do Theo and Tithla first, because I think the Jonor conversation is going to be quite an interesting one. So, Theo and Tithla. Oh, that's perfect timing, as Haz just bails out. Never mind. We shall do Jonor first, and we shall come back to Theo and Tithla in a moment.
Oh, fuck you to
One little.
Hey, we'll do you guys first. You guys will be boring, and then we can.
That's
do
not what I
something
said.
exciting.
I said this might be an interesting one, as in like there might be some complications as a result of this, that it would be better
The
to
other
know
one's
what.
going to be interesting compared to this boring.
More what
shit
I was
over here.
trying to say is that the sequence of events, because of how things might go, it would help
Go
if
on.
you don't have prior knowledge of that conversation and it adjusts what you do.
Well,
I'd just like to remind you, Owen, that there is a mute button.
There is, that is true. I do need to remember that. I haven't actually muted him. He's doing this to himself, which is actually, I wish he could do that more often. He could self-mute more often. That'd be awesome. Tom, as Jonor and as Victor head inside.
I will say.
Oh, yep, go.
A bit of a preface. So, going through this book, I also intend to use legend lore as well. I was trying to
That's
vaguely
right.
refer to it in the last session. Yeah, so basically learn more about dark powers, and then what we gather from the book then lean in more with the Inquisition on that front.
Perfect. So let's just pull open Legend Lore so I don't rob you or cheat you of any really good features. I'll just pull it open so we've got it all there in front of us. One of my favorite spells, Legend Lore. And one of the ones that I think...
Don't you ever, trying to figure out how it applies, because you name or describe a famous person, place, or object, and the Dark Forces seem like people, like godlike.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure if they count as a person, so leave it up to you.
No, that I think that will count because I know the new summary of the spell specifically says name a famous person, place, or object. I think that should be much more encompassing. Like in this instance, what you're trying to do is find information that is relevant to you about a topic. I'd actually have that be very broad. I'd even say name or describe a topic and then because it should be, I think this should be broad. This spell doesn't need a nerf. Legend Lore does not need to be nerfed. As a 5th level spell,
no.
It's if anything, I think an expansion of its capabilities is not a bad thing. Was the
I might be
previous
the first
version
person that's ever taken it.
Yeah, the previous... No, it's good. I took it when I did a one-shot as a wizard. I didn't use it, but I did have it in my spellbook. Yeah, it's funny. They have actually slightly nerfed the description of it in the new version. Fucking hell. This is ridiculous. They have slightly nerfed it in the new version of the thing. It did not need a nerf. Legend Lore never needed a nerf. It needs an expansion of abilities. Yes, I'm going to say name a topic, person, place, object, or other source of information that we can then delve into. So yeah, Legend Lore, fantastic.
What I'm interested in is
did you see the thing at the end? If the famous thing you choose isn't actually famous, you hear sad musical notes played on a trombone and the spell fails. That's what it says. What the fuck?
It's pretty good.
Wizards, fuck off.
You've just been duped.
Fuck off, Wizards. This spell does not need a nerf. Get out of here.
Meanwhile, I'm literally bringing back the dead with the same level spell.
It's a 5th level spell. Come on.
It's the perfect spell for furthering plot as well, so why nerf
What are you doing?
If your players are unsure of what to do, use Legend Lore and then it helps you move
Can
the
you
story
imagine
along.
as a DM your players are
exactly why.
Go.
If I can imagine some DMs would be getting frustrated with players over abusing it instead of actually hooking into proper plot hooks that have been put in front of them. If you get a group of lazy people who just Legend Lore their way through the plot.
But Legend Lore's only going to be stuff that's written down. Like the way that it kind of works is you could basically, the way you could do that, to deal with that as a DM, is have it be that the spell brings to your mind magically what has been recorded, what has been noted. It doesn't necessarily mean it's 100% accurate. History isn't 100% accurate. You can still do stuff with that as a DM. You don't need to go wop 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 and then just say nothing else to the players because they've cast Legend Lore. You don't need to be a shit.
You're good. You're absolutely good.
I think
hilarious.
Funny. In the circumstance where they do it about themselves, trying to flex it.
That'd be very funny. So it's like a bard takes magical secrets, takes Legend Lore as their thing. Is I'm going to keep casting this until I'm famous. Because please tell me about Forte, the musical genius here. Just go, oh, that's ridiculous. Fuck it, Wizards, come on. Seriously? Legend Lore did not need to be nerfed. Get out of here. Tom, you and I know this is better than that. We're working on the new version of this. As you cast Legend Lore. Yeah.
I'm going to go specificity, dark powers, and contract. So I know they've made a contract with Strahd and Sergei.
Yep.
So Dark Powers contract is where I'm honing in on.
You hear slow, sad trombone noises. The Dark Powers aren't a person or very fake. No. As you cast this spell,
they're probably a bit more secretive than they are famous. So
exactly. Rules as written. I'm well within my rights to waste your 5th level spell, Tom, and go more. No, I'm not going to do that. As you cast Legend Lore, how would you like to retexture this spell a little bit? Rather than you magically summoning this knowledge to you, it's kind of like you begin to go through your notes, you go through the information around you, and the spell helps you kind of like see a little bit beyond what's written on the page. Almost like you have like a notepad in front of you. You cast a spell and you begin writing little notes, and it flows and shifts and changes, filling in gaps that you're missing, maybe even rewriting sections that are a little bit wrong. And so in this way, we can kind of have it be, you take what you already know, you begin writing it down, and then the page shifts, the text moving and changing until it fills out and fills in the gaps that you're missing. How does that sound?
I think I like that a lot, and I think what can supplement that is the Tarokka deck there. So as cards pop out, they take elements of this and fill in there.
Yeah, for you, actually, yeah, maybe for you, it's you're using your Tarokka deck. You're actually drawing cards and placing them, and as you do so, you watch as the page begins to fill in, drawing upon your precognition as well as your glimpse into the past as you take on this more seer-like magic. Yeah, for sure. I love that. Dark Powers Contract. All right, Jonor. As you walk into the chapel with Victor, I'm assuming the place you kind of head to is that section of the large abbey, the chapel itself, which is a bit more quiet,
the
a
most
bit more
holy
contained.
of holy places. Yeah.
Sweet as you sit underneath the stained glass window of the rising sun over a field of wheat. The light shining through in this place, in this one patch of Barovia, the clouds are almost thin and broken, and this kind of soft, almost warm sunlight filters down from above as the magic of the Abbey now banishes a lot of the mists and gloom of Barovia. As you sit there in that quiet space, no one else around you, as you sit on one of the slightly uncomfortable pews, kind of digs into your tailbone a little bit. As Victor sits down next to you, as he begins pulling out his notes and going through things, the two of you begin to compare what you already know, what Victor has learned with what you know, and then you begin to fill in the gaps with your Tarokka deck, using your precognition and your seer powers. Do you use the crystal ball at all that you got from Strahd, just out of interest?
Not at this point. I know that I'm tainted by it, and we've learnt more. Yep.
Yeah, fair enough.
Doesn't mean I won't later. But.
Yeah, fair enough. There's always time for that later. As you go through the information with Victor and begin to write your notes together, you watch as the text on the page shifts and changes, the font becoming this very, almost like a hastily written scrawl that for a moment you have to sort of really focus to try and read and understand. It almost looks like this was written by someone frantic, hurriedly, as the writing shifts and changes. There's a couple of spelling mistakes. You can see ink blots where they've not blotted their quill properly and ink has dropped onto the page. Whoever this author was that you're drawing this knowledge from, this author was clearly frightened, scared of something. They discuss, at first, an overview of their understanding of the dark powers. Malevolent entities of an unknown number. Whether it's a single entity or a collection, it's hard to say. But people who have spoken with them, people who have communed with them, speak of overlapping voices. Many voices, all speaking at once, chiming in. Speaking as separate entities, but with the same goal. To find people who cause pain. Find people who commit acts of unspeakable evil and horror. And take them. Keep them. Trap them in their own pocket dimensions, their own demiplanes, populated with people drawn from other places, and allow them to inflict unending pain on those people. Why? This author has some theories. They speak of a balancing force in the universe, that those who commit acts of great evil, they've personified that evil, and that's what the dark powers are. Others speak of it being a type of god, an old, forgotten god who punishes the wicked by taking them and giving them what they think they most desire, but turning it into a prison of unending torture. Others speak of them being a higher power of demon. Demons torture mortal souls. The dark powers turn mortal souls into immortal monsters to torture them for all time. Maybe there's a demonic influence here. Whatever they are, the demiplanes hypothesized to be connected to parts of the Shadowfell. Not in it, but drawing power from it somehow. taking it, molding the very essence of the Shadowfell into these pocket dimensions. But where they exist is in its own separate area inside the astral sea. A densely packed area of cosmic dust, this deep, dark purple that blocks scrying, that blocks teleportation, that blocks a lot of magic. The pockets exist, almost like soap bubbles clinging to one another in this densely packed area of cosmic dust, surrounded by this... So we're delving into a bit of astral sea lore here, and tell me if this is something you're interested in, because the astral sea in D&D is kind of nuts. If we're going into this, there's a thing called the phlogiston, which is kind of like the essence of the astral sea that kind of binds various things together. And it's like gaseous. It's like a gaseous substance, kind of like cosmic clouds we see in our space. But it does weird things to magic. It does weird things to the mind. It bends kind of space around it. It's a whole thing. So tell me how detailed you want me to go with phlogiston.
So I would say we would foray into teleportation. So anything like relating to traveling. But it's, if it's getting too far away from the contract or teleportation, then we wouldn't really bother with it.
Then that's as far as we'll go.
For later, but
yeah, then that's as far as we'll go with phlogiston. But yeah, basically that's where the areas of the shadow, these pocket dimensions sort of stolen from the Shadowfell exist. As we get into contract, yeah. So those that capture the interest of the Dark Powers. For those that do not know what the Dark Powers are, there's really no guile or trickery used. The Dark Powers approach them and offer them assistance, their greatest desire in exchange for power, really. A lot of the time they offer this kind of what seems like a free, a no strings attached offer, no strings attached wish. The example that is used in this particular text that you're reading with your legend lore focuses on a mummy lord, a creature of undeath, a very powerful emperor of a land very, very far away. This one speaks of a land known as Aasimar, which you've never heard of before. Some sort of desert-like planet, and this emperor ruled for a very long time, but as he neared the end of his life, wanted to find a way to extend it, and he had grown his slave workforce by many, many numbers during that time. He had committed untold acts of cruelty upon his subjects to build greater and greater monuments to himself, presented himself as a living god to his people. And when he was approached by the Dark Powers, they offered him a land in which he would never grow old, a workforce that would never die, that would be eternally serving. And he gratefully accepted. And the kingdom vanished. The desert was pulled away, and the next morning, after these shards of crystal appeared in the sky, dark clouds descended from above, the kingdom was gone. Only the desert remained. It had been removed, a massive crater with sand pouring in on all sides as the kingdom had been completely removed. It had been taken by this agreement and moved to one of these demi-planes. And now that emperor lives forever as a mummy lord trapped in this pocket dimension with all of his original servants, all of his slaves, all of his serfs. What's the word I'm looking for here? All of his people slowly consumed by a curse of undeath leaking from the massive ziggurat he had them build. The Dark Powers offer much, but rarely give what you think. And it almost always involves unending pain and unending torture for those who accept. As you focus on this idea of how to break these pacts, there's really not a lot of information about breaking them. Rather concerningly, you do find that this mummy lord has been recorded to have been slain at least 3 times prior. Yet, somehow, through some connection with the Dark Powers, returns after time. The Dark Powers do not give up those that they own so willingly. And what's more, there's a reference here to another place, a realm of shadow and mist with an eternal vampire lord. There's a list of others. Castle surrounded by storms with a massive spire of metal that harnesses lightning itself rising from the top. The desert one that I told you about earlier. There's a list of many, many different demiplanes, all trapped within this kind of like unending pain within the Dark Powers purview. But breaking these deals, it doesn't look like it's going to be easy. In fact, the author doesn't know how to do it. They do hypothesize on it though. If the person who made the deal was killed, but at the moment of death completely gave up on the powers that they had received, on the immortality that they had received, if they were able to give that up, that could be a start to surrender that power that they've been given. Is there anything else you want us to know from Legends lore? Or does that cover pretty much what you're looking into?
That hits the nail on the head, I think. Won't probe further.
Sweet as. Because people will be very happy to hear this, I will tell you some of the other domains of dread. How about that? We can describe really quickly. For those who aren't aware of the domains of dread, there's a couple of really, really awesome ones. I do want to give a shout out to Agarath, the domain contained within the hiltstone of a dagger, trapping the spirits of those slain by its blade.
Cool.
Where's the other one? Darkon, which is the one ruled by the Lich King Azulon. And where's the one that's based on Frankenstein? I will find it. Harakir is the desert domain ruled by the mummy lord Akatapot. That's the one I was describing then. I couldn't remember the name of it in the moment. I didn't want to.
Judging from he was slain but somehow returned, I assume
some sort of
Star
emperor.
Wars is also a domain of dread.
It's a domain of dread, yeah. Well, the Disney ones are, yeah. Absolutely.
Why can't I have anything? Okay.
You can't have anything.
There's three that I like, which is one's a doom train that travels between all of the different planes of existence. All of the different domains of dread, there's a train. Then there's a carnival that can appear in each of the domains every now and then.
Awesome.
And then there is a town that has no adults in it. It's all children and animated dolls. And the dolls are Chucky, like
Blinsky's Workshop.
No. Blinsky's Workshop. That's Blinsky's domain. Yeah. I think we might need to have that as our next Blinsky special.
Oh yeah.
Done. Yeah. That is what you know, Jonor. Were there any other things you wanted to know from Legend lore?
Look, I don't want to push it any further. I think that's about right. Knowing if there is
it's a 5th level spell. Can bring people back from the dead. You can ask some more questions if you like. I mean, it costs him 1,000 gold. But like,
if it bleeds into what we reckon Sergei and Strahd both made the deal of, so the contract that was relevant in our realm, I think that's close.
Okay. In that case, then you're pretty confident. Like, this is now using your Tarokka deck more than the information from this person. You're pretty confident that both Strahd and Sergei, the deal that they made directly was linked to their eternal life. Both of them were delivered it in very different ways. Sergei becoming a lich, Strahd becoming a vampire. Why there's a difference in what sort of form their undead nature took could be related to their personalities. It could be related to something else. Could be related to the specific wording of what they asked for. More than that, for them both to end up in the same domain tells you that part of their torture is to be together. It is essential that they are both here.
Also fighting over... I've forgotten the
Tatiana.
Name. Tatiana. That's got a tie into it as well, right?
You reckon that must play a big role in it. And you are on the right track.
Like living forever.
Yeah.
Living forever with my love.
Well, if they both have to be there, maybe just killing. Oh, I guess if they always come back, killing them doesn't fix it, does it?
But
Tatiana
Jonor,
always comes back.
you're on the right track here, Jonor. And I'm, because you are a very intelligent character, and because you cast Legend Lore, I'm going to give you this for free. As you were just musing on why Strahd and Sergei have taken on different forms, as you then realize they both probably, something about Tatiana was involved in this, you realize that might have played into this as well, why they are different forms, what they wished for in terms of Tatiana. Because a lich can make someone immortal, but they're mindless. A lich can't turn someone else into they bring someone back as an undead. But a vampire can turn someone into a fellow vampire who has some degree of free will if they keep them as a vampire spawn. That potentially is very interesting. Yeah.
Live together forever versus have forever.
Yes, potentially. Yeah.
Cool. And
really healthy attitudes, but
neither healthy attitudes. I think we've established by now that both of these men are massive walking red flags. Yeah, I think we've addressed that. All those Strahd simps out there, what is wrong with you? He's a monster.
There's still the option to marry Irina off to him.
There is still that option. Yeah, that is true. And you also have the flesh golem, the Silka, the abbot's attempt to create a Tatiana. Yeah. So, what would you guys like to do? So, Jonor, what would you like to do? Is there anything else you wanted to chat to Victor about, or should we jump over to Theo and Tithla?
Happy to jump over.
Sweet as. We'll come back to you two in a second then. Theo and Tithla. Theo, as you head on over to the infirmary to take a bit of a rest, you're not really sure where other beds are in the abbey. The only place you know that has a number of nice warm beds is the infirmary itself. Yep. So as you and Tithla heading straight there, as you and Tithla head on over there, you pass by Styx and Arena, who seem to be having a conversation. Arena is patting Styx on the arm. Styx seems distracted somewhat. You're not sure what's going on with Styx, but he sort of seems like a bit crestfallen. But you watch as Arena pats him on the arm, looks up and gives you guys a bit of a wave. And then if you go to sort of make any move towards her, sort of like shakes her head a little bit, looks at Styx, and then like pats him on the arm again, indicating that she's going to try and chat to Styx and cheer him up a bit.
Sorry, I just want to be very clear. We didn't. We were going.
Cool. Yeah, perfect. As you just power on through. As you make your way inside the infirmary, you almost run headlong into Luther. He currently has his hat in his hands, his hair kind of slicked back, and he looks like he's in the process of like stepping outside to see what the commotion is. And as you run into him, Tithla, I'm assuming you're the one powering forwards ahead. You're the one kind of taking the lead on this. Yeah. As you run on forwards and almost run into him, you see like his coat sort of like suddenly like flare up around you as he puts his hands on your shoulders, catches you as you go to bump into him, and goes, "Oh there, Tithla, you okay?"
Oh, hey, yeah, no, really good. Thanks.
Theo?
I'm just going to have a nap.
Yeah, no problem. You guys are looking well. What brings you back to the Abbey?
Resurrection, mostly.
Resurrection? I didn't know you could. Is this something the abbot can do? He hasn't spoken about this since we last spoke. Or is this something you can do?
I can. Yes, I can bring people back from the dead.
I'm sorry. Is this new? I did not know about this, did I?
No, it's been no.
Yeah, you've been out for like 2 or 3 weeks now. What's changed?
Right. Well, I mean, that's amazing that you can bring people back from the dead. Holy shit.
But no, we came back. We had some children we needed to save, and a mage we needed to have healed. And I am hoping that if we can find the preserved liver of Grinna, we might be able to bring him back to save him from his. Oh yes, we found Grinna, by the way. He
Yeah, you found Grinna. Where is he?
Yeah, he got turned into a vampire spawn. He's with Strahd.
Oh fuck.
Oh, you didn't say the name. Damn it.
No, it's okay. We can say that.
Yeah.
We can say it in here. We're safe inside the grounds of the Abbey, Tithla. There's no scrying spells that can penetrate through here, as far as I'm aware.
Okay.
No, that's good to know. So you need Grinna's old liver, the one that the abbot took out.
Well, I mean, I reviewed the wording of the spell as it was told to me by the trees.
Trees.
Sorry, trees taught you how to bring people back from the dead.
Yes, that's how druids all learn spells via the trees. Or the Lorax who speaks for the trees.
I am learning a lot about druids today.
It's a secretive organization. You're not meant to know too much.
Did you know a lot before?
No, I did not.
So, maybe it's sort of just coming up to normal levels.
I am learning a normal amount, comparatively, about druids today. Sorry. So you're saying you're bringing some children back from the dead, but you also need Grinner's liver. I actually might be able to help with that.
Yeah, well, I can't do it today. I need to go for a rest. I've been running for like 48 hours straight to get us here on time. I need a rest, and then I will work with the abbot to try. It may fail, but because we don't know exactly where his soul is bound to, whether it's bound to his undead corpse or if it's been freed, and what would happen if there'd be two Grinners, but if we figure it's worth a shot, it might be the only chance we have to bring him back, because the other alternative is to turn him into a full vampire and then somehow cure that, which seems even less likely.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, that might be complicated. What else do you need for this apart from Grinner's liver? Because I can go and find that. It's just downstairs in the cold room with the other body parts of various animals and things. I was actually in the process of trying to clean that out and organize things into what was edible and what was not edible.
Okay.
Given that I kind of can recognize human
his liver
stuff.
I think his liver started preserved, so I wouldn't recommend eating it.
No, it's a good point. It probably is rather pickled as a result of a lifetime of alcohol abuse. Yeah, I'm sure I can locate it.
But no, I mean, we also need roughly 1,000 GP worth of holy oils.
Fuck.
But
yeah, right. Okay.
we were going
I
to,
can
after
help
my
with some
rest,
of that.
travel to Valaki. I was going to fly there. I can fly now. And
Nice.
we're going to talk to the priest we met there, and hopefully he has some oils we can borrow to try. The abbot has enough for with the gold we as a group pooled together, has enough to do the children. We just need to find enough for Grinner.
Right. I mean, I was talking to some of the mongrel folk. There's an old abandoned settlement a ways back on the other side of the mountain.
Where?
So if you go from here, you want to head around the other side of the mountain. There's an old goat track that leads down that other side. Apparently there's an old settlement there that was abandoned some time ago. It's a bit dangerous to get to, but given I can climb sheer surfaces just by walking on them, why don't I go on down and see if there's anything abandoned there?
I'll come
the
with
village was. It might be a bit tricky to get you there, Tithla. Gotta walk up a sheer surface.
I'm a pretty good climber.
Are you good enough to climb on just complete vertical surfaces with no handholds that might collapse and turn into a rock fall at any minute?
Oh, I do have a climb speed of 40, so that's sort of up to the DM, I guess.
Not sure what a climb speed of 40 means or who this DM is, but I can confirm that you're probably a pretty good climber. Look, if you want to come, you can. I was just going to make my way over there and see if I could locate anything that's been left behind. Apparently the village was abandoned after a rock slide took it all out, so no one's been able to get down there to investigate.
I can find Grinner's liver then.
Do you want to do that then? Do you want to go looking through to find Grinner's liver, and I'll go see if I can locate some abandoned items? Because apparently this village there was a rich nobleman from Valaki who lived there.
We're just in a hurry, so I just want to get this.
Right. Yeah, we'll tell you what. You head down and you go see if you can find his liver, and I'll make my way over to this settlement, see if there's anything that's been abandoned there. Any goods or items.
Thank you, Luther. Yeah, anything either of value, or if they have a church and happen to have holy oils, that would be appreciated.
No church. It was more a manor house and a few things around it. I call it a village, but I don't.
More of a villa.
Yeah, it was more of a villa than a. Yeah,
well,
but I'll see.
Anything you find would be helpful. I mean, I'm sure the priest will have what we need, but if we can offer him something in trade so we don't, bankrupt his church to pull this off, I think that would be kind.
That's what I was thinking as well. Otherwise, I do have a lead on where an absolute shitload of really expensive stuff has been taken. You're not gonna like it though.
Is the Amber Temple?
Yeah, apparently Irina, she said that a lot of the adventurers, people brought in from other places who end up here. They're spirits that walk that path of the dead up towards Castle Ravenloft. Apparently, Sergei makes sure that he brings back a lot of the bodies with their items still on them and takes it back to the Amber Temple. He's got a bit of a fetish for collecting things from other places. Apparently, he's looking for items of power that he might be able to use against his brother. So, yeah, a bit like a magpie. Anything shiny that drops here in Barovia, chances are he sends one of his zombies or skeletons to go pick it up.
I suspect we'll be going on a journey there soon. First things first, save the children, try and save Zagrina. I have to save a small wolf child, and then we can go to the Amber Temple. But to do any of that, I need to rest and recover.
Yeah, we're gonna do that straight away. So
Hey, you said you're looking to get the gold for holy oils, right? Like special oils?
Yes.
Can Jonor still do that spell he does where he can locate shit?
Yeah, presumably.
Might be worth a go. See if Jonor can locate any of those oils that you need.
that's a good idea.
Well, Tithla, if you want to go find the liver and then go talk to Jonor about that while I sleep, if you don't need to rest, that's fine. I still we could cuddle, but if you don't want to, that's all good.
I mean, I wouldn't mind, but we're in a hurry, so.
Oh, remember,
Greater good.
the liver should be in a preserved jar. Do not take it out of there, or it will decay. Keep it in the jar. Keep it safe. Do not take it out or try and do anything with it. You need me, and it needs to be in as good condition as it can for us to pull this off.
Okay.
No, promise me you will not take it out of the jar, or break the jar, or
taste it,
or in any way remove the liver from the jar.
What's up?
You, Tithla, you must promise me. Promise me, or I will not let you go get the liver.
I promise I won't take the liver out of the jar
And
or do any of the other stuff.
promises mean something, yes? You do
Well,
not break promises?
we try not to.
No, we do not break the promises.
I won't do it, okay?
Okay, good. Trusting you.
I go.
Well, I'm trusting you to come back and not leave.
I did. I promised I would come back, and I did.
And it worked out, so I guess it'll work out then.
Yes.
Good night.
And that deer will plod off and drop down on a hospital bed and trust Tithla to do this simple task.
Tithla, as you make your way over towards... No.
Nope. Tithla sits down immediately and casts Locate Object.
What is the object that you look for?
Grinner's liver.
As soon as you cast Locate Object, how does Locate Object work for you? Did you have like a dowsing stick? Did we have you pull up like a two-pronged stick and do like a dowsing rod?
She pulls out her little notebook.
Yep.
And draws a picture of what she's looking for. So she's doing a drawing of, and she's got the jar in there. And then as she's walking, like the strokes get more confident as she gets closer towards it. And then, yeah, kind of like a homing like that she's then able to narrow down which way.
Alrighty. As you make your way across the stone steps towards the trapdoor that leads down into the lower section of the basement, lifting up the heavy wooden trapdoor, the darkness below, the cold that seeps out, you remember being down here before when you were first brought into the catacombs beneath the abbey. As you clamber down the ladder, you can see that some effort has been made to clean this area out. A lot of the storage that had been chaotic, crates, and barrels that had just been left haphazardly, some full of rotting food. You can see that there's been a really concerted effort to clean up and use this area far more intelligently, to use this area as it should be used. One door, however, has been left untouched. You can see has been sealed, not with a lock, but with a small ribbon of red fabric tied around the handle. You know this leads into the, shall we say, cold storage of meat that the abbot had previously been keeping on site. And as you slowly unwind the fabric and open the door, the sketch becomes increasingly darker, the lines far more solid and blocky. Cross-hatching appears in sections as it begins to shade in, almost appearing three-dimensional, your picture on the page, as it begins to take on a far more artistic, far more anatomically accurate feature. And as you open the door and look inside, you can see jars and jars and jars of items, recovered from various bodies. But your eyes are drawn very quickly to a jar that is not covered in dust or cobwebs, a jar that is sitting by itself as if placed haphazardly there. The area around it disturbed and about waist height. To the abbot, about head height for you. And as you point the book towards it, you watch as colour begins to bleed into the picture that you've drawn, as the jar that sits there shows a dark red mass, vaguely rhomboid, suspended in a clear, briny green liquid. You're pretty sure this is the liver.
Grab, run.
Yeah, the liver has like dark sections of mottled scarring. You can see sections where it is black and cirrhosed. This is definitely Grinner's liver. This is the liver of a man who has drunk and smoked heavily for 30 years.
Tithla being the medical genius that she is, none of that means anything to her, so she just grabs it and runs back.
Okay, cool. As you begin to run back, Blood, Killian, and Axel, as you guys spend a bit more time working on the walls, working on the tooling, is there... How much time would you devote to this, and is there anything else that you would like to do during this period?
Yeah, two things. I think that given how poorly those first couple of hours went for Axel, he'd be really keen to put some physical labor in as day. And I think through just doing some manual labor, and I was thinking about this, and I think watching the mongrel folk work around, getting a sense that some of them, their features and abilities are a little bit inhibited by their forms.
Oh, for sure.
I'm curious whether or not that Axel with Tinker's tools could make some general, like, not quite prosthetics, but accessories that allow, like, you know, if someone's got a really significant hunch or disproportion between their legs. Yeah, I can tinker up some, maybe even just one person, like a gauntlet or a leg brace or something like that.
So with your Tinker's tools, the way we do the skill check proficiencies for tools is you can describe which skill you think is the most appropriate here that you're using. For example, if you were using cook's utensils, you might say, I'm going to follow a very precise scientific recipe. I'm not going to deviate from it. I'm going to do everything very precisely timed. That would be an intelligence check, for example. Or you could be like, with cook's tools, I'm going to spend all my time on making this plate up really extravagantly. I want this to be like the most visually appealing food that I can do. Maybe more of a charisma check with your cooking utensils. You've got proficiency, so you'll still add your proficiency bonus. What skill is Axel employing with his Tinker's tools?
Looking at where his experience really lies, I think it would be on the same path as the pure functionality in a survival situation of making like a brace that is not, medically sound, but will get the job done and get them out of threatening environments. I'm thinking
like it's like not flashy, but it's like gonna get them.
Utilitarian. This is like you're doing this on the fly. This is your using what's around you. Very MacGyver style kind of creations here.
Yeah.
Survival sounds good. This sounds like using more of your wisdom than in that case. So yeah, absolutely. Wisdom check plus your proficiency. Very nice. Alrighty, let's have a look. Mate, you still get your proficiency bonus. That's only added a 2. You still get your proficiency. So what's your proficiency? +4?
Yeah. So I honestly think with how poor that's going, it is clear to Axel that any like delicate work is not in his hands, and he has recognized that, the sleight of hand, like small work is just not happening, and his hands are just shaking as he's realizing that the last couple of days are not working, and he just crumples whatever is in his hands and goes back to lifting heavy stones.
Nice. Blood and Killian, before too long, Axel joins you. Blood, you've spent enough time with Axel to know that he's clearly upset about something. He's quite rough. Just walks on over, starts like grabbing stuff and moving it. And as you sort of like try to engage him, he just sort of grunts, doesn't give too much back. You can see that he's clearly a bit pissed. You don't know why, but whatever's happened, it's clearly angered him slightly.
Axel, how's it going?
Good. Just really keen to move these stones now, you know. Grunting.
Yes. Yes, well, lots of stones to move.
We're gonna make it safe.
Yep.
We're not safe.
Okay.
How did the minor repairs go?
They're well underhand, but it looks like you guys needed some help, so I came here to help you out because everything else is sorted and fine. Blood, are you gonna take that big one over there?
I'm gonna inside check that.
That's fair.
Because I know that's a lie, but I'm gonna inside check it anyway.
That's fair. That's very fair.
I have a passive insight of 19, but I'm just going to ignore it and be like,
I don't think Axel has the capacity to try and deceive. I think this is
That's a 3.
Blood, that's a 3. Blood,
Yeah.
He's fine. He's fine.
Oh,
Yeah.
Axel, you fine. Hey, yeah, come. Lift stone.
He just wants to lift heavy stones, man. That's all there is to it. There's nothing more to read here.
Clearly for Blood, he's like moving towards it and seeing that it's bigger than the one I was going for. I like step in front of him and just prove that I can lift and move this bigger stone.
Axel,
I'm tempted to make you roll an athletics check to see if he can. Go on.
do that.
Go on.
He's
your
like,
knees.
Go on. I'm sure this will be fine. 27. Okay, he's channeling his rage. He's channeling his rage at this point. It's completely fine.
Wow.
Now release your anger. So you just walk on over and grab the biggest stone. You just push past Blood, shoulder check him a little bit as you walk past, pick up the biggest stone that Blood was about to pick up, and then just walk past him. You just sort of look at him and just nod as you're holding this really big, heavy rock, twice the size of you. Blood, pretty impressive, actually. It's pretty strong. It's pretty impressive.
No ego lifting in the gym, Axel.
Yeah.
Come on, Blood, back to work.
To be fair, it's quite nice that you've actually come to help because most of the mongrel folk have kind of stopped and are sort of Google-eyeing Blood's rippling muscles as he's been lifting rocks. So it's good to have the extra set of hands.
There are a few men and women standing by watching you work, Blood.
Hello.
You're an impressive specimen.
Yeah.
And you're symmetrical, which is a real draw up here at the Abbey.
Tree branches sort of shift around a little bit.
Look.
More symmetrical, I guess, than them. So, yeah. No, fair enough.
100%. Is there anything else the three of you would be doing rather than just continuing with the physical labor, or is the plan to repair as much of the wall as you can, finish off the rest of this watchtower, and then rejoin the rest of the group for a bit of a rest?
I was sort of thinking, like, because Blood and Axel are pretty new, so I guess like while we're doing this manual work, maybe talking to Killian about like some of the events that have occurred like in the past, because we haven't really had a chance to be briefed in on that really as like characters, because we kind of like were brought in, take us on a boat, get us to the werewolves, come back, and we haven't really had a chance to like learn about what's going on. Like we have only been here maybe a few days, so I think like
really true.
Probably take this time maybe just to like get up to speed with what's been going on, some of the different like such things that have happened. Like, you know, obviously Blood and Axel have been learning as we've been going. We've obviously met the abbot now and know what happened here, so I think maybe just a chance to sort of catch up with some stuff. And, you know, obviously Killian can tell us what he knows or what he doesn't know, or
I'd love to hear Killian's summary of like what's happened so far.
I basically want Killian to give me a summary of what's happened.
That'd be quite entertaining. Killian, take it away. What's Killian's summary of this, Josh?
So the first thing that I have to tell you, if you happen to go down into the town of Kresk, there is a Sergeant Gavel down there. Very talkative man. You should definitely go down there and have a very long conversation with him if you get the chance to.
Okay.
Very nice gentleman.
It's genuinely a painful voice for me to do. Genuinely painful.
So please do it.
Yeah.
What does he sound like?
No, I feel like it's going to encourage you if I do this. It's going to be like
I just.
This is like drug dealers offering the first sample free. No, that's even worse. I'm just realizing worse.
How is it worse than like when you do Styx's? It's worse than
It's
Styx's.
so much worse than Styx's.
Oh, well, now I need to hear it.
This is Sergeant Gavel, head of the Krezg militia, and there ain't no ursine, no bovine, no lupine that'll stop me in my duty.
Duty.
Oh my god.
10 out of
The
10.
impression that Killian
does. No, Killian, you do it. You do it. Go on then, mate. Josh, you do it. I want to hear your version of Sergeant Gavel.
Accents are not my thing. There's a very funny thing on RollTogether at the moment where whenever I need to do a character with an accent, I go in an Irish accent and then speak normally.
Fucking cop out. Fucking cop out.
Wow.
Come on, mate. Come on, mate.
I'm terrible at it.
I get it.
Everything
So
I
you-
do sort of
just gotta
descends
do it.
into Jamaican, which
Yeah.
is not.
I get a horrible mix of Russian and Indian after about 3 sentences of anything.
Yeah, that's why
I
I
don't know
hate
what it
Killian's
is,
original voice.
but it's culturally insensitive at the very least.
Pick a culture. They're incensed by it.
Wow.
My favorite character, Harrison, is the man from Europe.
Yeah, it's just you.
Just Europe.
That's a whole.
Where are you from? The north. Anyone? Nope. That's it.
It's
The
just-
north.
it's just Europe. That's where it's
Europe.
from.
That's amazing. Oh, from up north. Oh man.
So
You know.
I haven't been with the group since the very beginning, but what they've told me, and it might be worth having a conversation with them to get a little more detail, they started by coming through some sort of haunted house, and then they ended up in here. They did a bit of traveling. They ended up fighting in some sort of a windmill, and Tithla decided to climb into an oven and got some really bad burns. Then they met me at Vallaki, where we staged what we called is a bloodless coup. It was bloodless on our part. The people that we were fighting against did do some killing. We fought a vampire. We overthrew the leaders there, and we put in a new burgmaster. His name is Aasimar. Aasimar is now the leader of there. That's Irene's brother. Irene's over there. We then travelled to here. We travelled to Kresk. We had our first encounter with He Who Shall Not Be Named, and that's where these 2 scar marks come from, and I show where I got bitten by Strahd. We met Sergeant Gavel, as I said, somebody who you should 100% go speak to. We managed to save the abbot and heal him. We met Styx. Styx, I think we found in the catacombs underneath this place, which is actually where a load of weapons are. That might be a good thing to point to people that there's weapons down there.
Oh, weapons down in catacombs.
Yeah,
Good.
so that might be
Go
helpful.
Ah.
Grinner, who was one of our travelling companions, had his liver transplanted out for a werewolf liver. He then disappeared. We now know that he decided to antagonise He Who Shall Not Be Named, and has been since turned into a spawn. I stabbed Jonor in the back, and we made our way down to. I stayed in the temple, and the rest of them travelled to a place called Yesterhill.
Wait. You stabbed Jonor in back? Why?
Yes, no, we just gloss over that bit. We don't talk
What
about
did he do?
that bit anymore.
What Jonor do?
What did he do? Fucking victim blaming shit.
No, that is. That is
how is that the
100% Axel?
first?
Axel has got a gripe. That is, he heard that and he wants to know why.
Yeah.
It's just the way he was
nothing
dressed,
going on
really. You know, it's
Where
just,
he was dressed as a mage. I don't like mages. Stab. No.
look how he's dressed. He's asking for it. He's not wearing any back armor. It's all open. He just stabbed.
Yeah. Just asking for
I
it.
was
Fucking hell.
when the party met me, I was in a bit of a dark place. I had been through some trauma of my own, and I had a pact with a dark power, not the one that everyone's talking about with Strahd or He Who Shall Not Be Named and Necrophilia Man. It was something else that was controlling me, and it wanted the divine blood that runs through Jonah's veins, and uncontrollably, I stabbed him. I since atoned for that by staying in the Abbey and helping the Abbot. Jonor keeps telling me that everything's okay and that he forgives me but won't forget, which I understand. I don't forgive myself for doing it, but that's a whole other thing. Don't worry, I'm not going to stab anybody in the back anymore.
Okay.
You don't have to worry about that.
Okay.
Can Jonor be trusted?
Jonor can be trusted, yes. He can be a little bit too smart for his own boots, and there are times where he knows information that he's not sharing. But I fully understand. For example, and this is for him to tell people, there are things that I overheard when we were meeting with Madame Ava that he was told, because I was in the room, and he's not told anybody about that yet. So I'm just waiting for him to tell people about it. So it's not my place to say, because it's all information that he was given. So
Blood just looks at Axel like, what? Like, what? Oh, okay.
He can be a bit too smart for his own boots sometimes, to the point where he forgets to tell people things. Tithla is probably one of the kindest people that I've ever met in my life. This place has definitely affected them mentally a lot, to the point where they are suffering from severe abandonment issues.
Tithla come with Theo. Yes.
With Theo and Jonor, Grinner and Luther all came here together. And obviously Grinner's now died. Luther stayed here. I stayed here for a little bit, and Theo stayed in Barovia for a little bit. So, other than Jonor, everybody has left Tithla at least at one point during this adventure. So, I can understand where that comes from. But
don't forget Damo.
Oh, and yes, there was a former traveling companion that they met when they first got here, who actually turned out to be he who shall not be named in disguise.
Oh,
but so yeah, and Theo is just a walking. What's the word that they say?
Theo's from Europe.
I don't know.
That's it.
I don't know if it's a thing where you're from, but he's like a walking sex magnet.
It's not where I thought that was going.
Everybody is attracted. Everywhere he walks, everyone is attracted to him in some way or another. He's got charisma oozing out of him that when I first met him, I thought he was a bard. And not a druid.
I mean, the way he played that flute on top of the mountain, Blood, do you remember Theo whipping out his warhorn and going, burr, 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 burr. I mean,
Theo is
impressive.
Nice man.
Still could be a bard, as far as you're aware. Like, he turns into a bear, but he still could be a bard.
Did you know that he wears a top and everything, and his bottom half of his exposed? Did you know that he's naked from the waist below?
That's very formal. We've covered that.
And you might want to talk to him about a period of time that he had during when he was in the Feywild, where he was a frog.
Never let him climb a ladder in front of you, is all I'm going to say.
This first time Blood think about this. But frog, you say?
It won't be the
Yeah, he was something about a relative or something of his turning him into a frog. But that's something, again, that's something that you should really talk to him about. I'm not sure of the details of what happened when they were at Yester Hill. In fact, the party haven't actually really told me much about it, other than they killed some druids. And then we met back up and travelled back to Vallaki. I don't think there was anything... Oh no, we went to the Silver Argynvostholt, which is where we met the Silver... I'm going to call them the Silver Templar, or the Knights of the Silver Order or something.
Knights of the Silver Dragon's fine.
Yeah, a bunch of revenants who used to worship Argynvost. We managed to retrieve his skull from Castle Ravenloft. We've been to Castle Ravenloft. We met and had dinner with he who shall not be named. He's an arsehole. And we managed to steal some items from him, although he knew about it, so that he kind of gifted them to us.
It's not stealing if he know.
Yeah, we managed to steal a skull from him, which I don't think he found out about. and which is the skull of Argynvost. We returned that to the Argynvost Holt. Names confusing. And we managed to restore the spirit of the dragon there, so we now have allies there. But they're all revenants, but that doesn't matter.
Who Argynvost?
Ancient silver dragon. Ancient? A silver dragon.
Oh.
But it's the spirit. He's dead, but his spirit lives on in the temple and through his servants.
Is Argynvost from Barovia? From here?
I don't actually know. I think there was a description that the voice in my head gave me that the Argynvost Holt wasn't actually, the stonework wasn't native to Barovia.
The voice in your head, you remember that the castle itself has been here since before Barovia was pulled into a demiplane. The Knights of the Silver Dragon and Argynvost came here as a group of paladins during the rise of Castle Ravenloft and Strahd and Sergei's father, the former Baron, conquering these lands. The paladins came in along with Argynvost before Barovia was sealed into a demiplane. So they knew Tatiana, they knew Solus, Styx's previous form as the Sun Sword. And then when Strahd and Sergei both made their pact with the Dark Powers, they were caught up at the same time. They were just trapped here with everyone else.
So you say they revenant? What is that?
Revenants are undead that haven't been brought back by another being's magic, as it like how we've seen Sergei do his stuff where he brings things back from the dead. It's more that they kind of come back of their own hatred and vengeance. Their minds were clouded, which seems to be an on-brand theme around this place. Everybody's minds are clouded until this group appear and clear their minds. So we did that, and now they're on our side.
So
they're a little more sane. Also, Styx is the Sun Sword, which is the sword that we need to kill Strahd.
So, Blood, you've heard of Revenants before. The name, what he describes, you don't know the name Revenant, but the what he describes, a spirit that comes back due to rage and wanting to seek revenge. The Meloran have a different name for it. In your tongue, it's Ikar, a vengeful spirit that comes back again and again and again, driven by rage and hatred. They are unsleeping, unending monstrosities that possess corpses to hunt down the creature, person, what they believe wronged them, to seek revenge. The fact that he's talking about revenants that you can reason with, speak to, that are now working on the side of the party, it sounds like what he's describing almost sounds like an alliance. That is pretty unusual. You've not heard of that before. Something funky.
Blood sort of shakes his head. Sounds like Ikar, which is no good. They driven by rage, cannot be reasoned with, where I am from.
These ones were also driven by rage to the point where they were reliving their final moments. When we first met them, they were fighting them was strange because they were always attacking in the same sort of patterns. We later learned that they were fighting exactly as they were before they died. It's like their last imprinted memory or something. But bringing the skull of Argynvost back to them seems to have freed them of that rage and of that want for bloodthirsty vengeance. They still have the vengeance there, but it's just they are more in control of their own thoughts. You can actually have a conversation.
I just scratch my head. Doesn't. I mean, things different here, so maybe Ikar different as well.
Possibly.
Axel, what do you think about all this?
I mean, I'm curious where their rage and vengeance lies. I'm guessing it's against those two
Definitely
So,
against
Strahd.
he who shall not be named. 100% against him. There was a few times where they shouted his name and that they hated him and all of that. I'm not so sure about the brother, but from there we travelled to the Wizard of Wines, which we'd been to a couple of times during our travels, but and then travelled back to Vallaki, and that's where we met you. That's a summary pretty much of everything that has happened. Anything that happened before I joined, you might need to ask them about, though.
Okay. Okay.
Can I ask a question of you, Killian? I haven't had to fight vampires before, and it seems quite common here. Is there any strategy that you would recommend?
We fought during the Bloodless Coup. We fought our first full vampire, I believe. It wasn't a spawn, and there was another one that we'd fought below the church, who was a spawn, as it were, but a full-blooded one, similar to he who shall not be named, are terrifying creatures to go against. Surrounding them, we had a slight problem where we didn't have enough protection for our ranged people. Jonor was a primary target for it because of the amount of fuckery he can do during a combat. So being able to protect him is key in that situation.
Define fuckery.
His magic is incredibly potent. Now that you are both here, we've got plenty of frontline people. There was a stage where I was also fighting up front, especially when Theo wasn't here. Theo is a tank in combat, I should say. You've seen kind of what he's like when he's in his I believe you call it a Bjorling in where you're from. And
full Bayon now, baby. Not even the baby form. He's got the full adult form now. All 12 feet tall version of it. This monstrous bear.
I would like to see that.
And Tithla is probably one of the most skilled archers I've ever seen.
Would agree. It's a good shot.
She killed those children in wolf form with brutal efficiency.
Why? Why are you doing this to me, huh?
Because you did it. You did it.
No, Tithla did it. Let's separate the player and the character.
Tithla did it. Well, no, but actually, there's no need to. Your actions are Tithla's actions. Nice try.
This is true, yeah. Tithla does sometimes have a familiar animal companion, Draco. They're there sometimes. Sometimes I forget that they're there. I
think Tithla does too.
Well,
No,
but they can be quite helpful. So, but you've fought with us plenty of times now to know our combat tactics. I don't know why I'm explaining that to you, but as people, they're all fantastic.
Good. Okay. Well, Blood feels like he is up to date. Yes. Blood would like to see what. Blood is confused though. You got the Lich Man, not very good. You got the man we don't talk about. He's not very good. What do we do? Do we kill? Do we fight? What is plan?
I think the plan is to fight, although I don't know which one we're fighting. He who we don't speak about that often. When we were there, he wants us as part of our deal with him for taking the items from his castle. He wants us to fight against his brother, which means we're probably going to have to go to the Amber Temple at some point, which is somewhere that we've been told not to go to. But he wants us to but then that aligns us with him, and we don't want that. At least I don't want that. I don't know about
the one
others.
two betrayal skidoo afterwards.
Sorry.
I'm happy to for this conversation to be happening as you guys make your way back to the rest of the group.
Yeah,
and as
this
you
could all be-
reconvene with Theo in the what was once the medical wing of the Abbey, what's been turned into the medical wing of the Abbey. As you reconvene there, Theo's there for this part of the conversation. Jonor, you can rejoin whenever you want as well.
Hello, Theo.
Yes.
I hear you are a strong bear.
Just you. That sounded a bit gay than it had to, but
It can sometimes be unbearable.
It's bear, deer. They're very common where I'm from, but the Bayonne.
Ah. Very
But
good.
it's a skill I learned to protect those around me that need to be protected.
Also, the noble cockroach as well makes an appearance.
Yes, it is. Well, where you're from in Nostea, it is regarded as the most noble of creatures.
That's never been true, and it
It's
never will be true.
canonized. It is known about all of Nostea. The
Nope.
cockroach is the pinnacle of creation.
Blood, he's
It's
talking
news to me, but it seems
absolute
right.
garbage.
Blood has seen cockroaches on ship. Maybe you are right. Ah.
They are unkillable, and
They're definitely killable.
And we should all aspire to that as our greatest goals.
hang on.
Oh, become immortal.
Sorry, DM.
Yeah,
you said model.
after Dark Powers, end up as a cockroach.
As strong as the roach.
That's how they return. They're dusting their wings and they're scurrying across the bowl. They can't fly.
That's it. That's it. At their core, the dark powers just turn you into a cockroach with the shell of something else that you're like kind of puppeting from inside, like Ratatouille. You're just a cockroach though, puppeting from above.
We did also do that as me as the cockroach. So
Killian was just telling Axel and Blood about adventures. Keep informing us, keeping us informed on what you have been doing. Sounds like you have been through much in your time here.
yes, it's been a eventful couple of weeks, couple of months. But yeah, I mean, really, we're just trying to get back home. I mean, I have a forest to patrol. It lies unguarded now. I miss my carefree days wandering the woods, teaching Tithla bushcraft and tending to the wild animals of the forest. But
So you and Tithla together, friend, before come here.
oh yes, I mean, Tithla and I are acquainted. Well, her family has a farm on the outskirts of the forest, and she wandered in one day, and we formed a strong friendship. So she comes, stays in the forest with me.
Don't you try and backtrack now.
What?
Yeah, we're acquaintances. That's
I
fine.
say acquaintances. I said we were acquainted a long time ago.
Yeah, we have met.
To be fair, he did say that. We did react a bit soon, Jacob.
No.
Yeah,
Anyway, should have said better.
I didn't say we were acquaintances from a long. I said we were acquainted a long time ago.
He did say it.
Very
He did
different.
say it.
I'd left it at that.
But yeah,
You're gonna have to
we
come
met-
down from that energy, mate. It's to be fair. Like, he is right. You have to turn it back.
Okay, I heard what I heard. Okay.
Tithla 101. It doesn't matter what's actually said or done. It just matters what you feel was said or
There you
done.
I
reject
your
your reality
reality
and
and substitute my own where I'm the victim.
Yeah.
Basically.
You mean reality?
But yeah, I think we need to get on. Jonor, Luther, and Grinner, we met soon after when we joined up with the Tempest Adventuring Guild. They'd all met each other a bit prior in a small spot of child purchasing, but
What?
Jonor was doing some research on
Give that a rest.
how to buy a child or something like that. I'm not too sure.
No, hang on. No, just what that is not what happened. I was doing some investigations of spellcasters in the region, and Tithla showed great potential. And I offered to have a scholarship of that sort to the parent, and it just snowballed out of control. The story.
Yeah,
behind
you
it
got
did not happen.
There's a bit of a finder's fee.
Yeah, is it I'll give you money, and Tithla will come away with me, and
Whatever.
yeah,
Here we are now.
but we'll call it a scholarship.
Killian, is this
Axel-
one of those cases where Jonor doesn't say everything he knows, and it leads to this?
Exactly.
Wait, what?
Ah,
What do you mean?
What do you mean?
I say everything.
well,
Oh, dear.
Killian said before that there were some things you have not said to everyone. During
I
time with
look
Madam
straight
Tithla.
over. I look straight over at Killian.
What
Did
have you
you?
not told us?
What's
I
up?
go to hide behind the nearest person, which is Axel, who is a lot shorter than I am, so I sort of crouch down.
I was going to say, Axel, this news that scholarships exist at the Unseen University. Yeah, of course they fucking do. You worked for many years, like, as one of the Bursar's guards. Like, yeah, that's pretty normal. Like, people from rural
thought you
towns
were
can't
gonna
afford
say-
access to the university. That's pretty normal.
I
Like,
thought you were
you
going
know
to say
why this.
Axel worked as an admissions officer.
No. Yeah, you used to buy the children. No, you know. You know that it is a very normal practice for people who don't have the funds, who don't live in the city, to be given a stipend, especially kids on farms work. Like, kids
Be
out in
preyed
rural
upon
communities.
by the rich.
And is it normal for a random scholar just to wander around town to town distributing scholarships?
Looking for people with magical promise and offering them admission to the Unseen University, like, subject to them succeeding in the admission testings. Yeah, that's not that unusual. Like, it's not that crazy,
Subject
Axel.
was the key word there.
Perhaps we misinterpreted.
This is for Axel. This is for Axel's ears only. This is Axel's mind presenting him with this information, being like, yeah, that sounds pretty normal. That's how, like, recruiting people who can't afford university or don't know they have magical talent works. Like, how else do you find people who would otherwise not be exposed to wizards shit? Like, that's not that weird.
Basically, we've been through quite a lot during our journey, to the point where if or when the bards decide to tell the tale of our adventures in some sort of episodic format, it would be well over 100 episodes.
Currently 103, you think, at this point, Killian.
Yeah, about
You're also not
103.
getting out of your comments to Jonor as you crouch behind Axel, trying to hide behind his shield. Jonor, you watch as Killian ducks
Jonor,
down, trying to sort of tap off.
What is
Just
he
disappear.
talking about?
Well, so we were at the vineyard, so the Wizard of the Wine, and one morning I had just woken up. I'd spent maybe probably 7.5 hours just being perpetually drowned and drowned and drowned and drowned and drowned. By
we
this
were
hag
drinking,
in...
drowning.
No. Oh yeah, I mean that's true. Yes, we were drinking, but then I went to sleep, and this creature from the depths of this swamp nearby. You know how the family was real coy about going to this nearby town where the mother had been killed. There is a hag there, and it knows it. It speaks to me. It spoke to me, and was basically drowning me perpetually. And I just given that a wide berth. Really just don't want to go over there. So I just kept that one to myself.
You keep having these visions?
Oh, we might have lost Tom.
He got so
He's
scared
back.
of lying.
First time should have kept no, and then the second time.
Oh, he's back. There he is.
First time was not good. First time was great. Second time was a very bad experience. It's just whenever we go there and then I sort of have a rest. If I'm close enough to the area, I think it just comes. She stalks me. She stalks me in my dreams. So.
And
Yeah,
you
it's
did
what
not
I-
think
just
that
trying to
was
give it-
worth mentioning to any of us, that you were being stalked by a powerful spellcaster with evil intent?
Yeah.
You didn't think that was at all relevant to
just,
the people you were traveling with?
I come out from behind
I
the
would
shield,
just-
and I'm like, I knew about you having at least one vision, but I didn't know about the drownings. I'm sorry for.
And you did not think to tell anyone else that he was keeping something from us? You tell Axel and Blood?
Dudes, we just
I
met
didn't
like
tell
24
them-
hours ago.
What is this?
I felt it was more Jonor's thing to say, but then also at the same time,
we're back at the Abbey,
He's
so you have to
taking-
stab Pinza back again. This time
He's taking too long to say it, so I've kind of pushed it a bit, and I apologize for that.
So yes, back at the Abbey, must stab Jonor in the back again.
Pretty much.
This time, yes, that's true. Actually, this is becoming a bit of a pattern. At least it's not physically.
Oh, is it?
Is it too soon to joke about it?
There's still time.
Did
Oh, it's fine. It's fine, Killian. It's okay. You know, it's fine. I've not forgotten. I've forgiven you. I've
Are
forgiven
you sure, Jonor? Because you're seriously giving, if you're about to die and you need healing vibes, you're not going to get it. It's what you're giving at the moment.
Look, it's just sort of hard to turn your back to someone and then they you just it gets implanted in. I don't know what's deeper. I reckon the hag's mind tricks were deeper, but that one was something still.
Look, Blood don't know this party very well yet. Only been few days. But we Melora orcs have saying trust everyone on the ship. Yes, you need to know what everyone is doing and know that they have each other's back. So maybe we just talk and get this sorted out. Make sure that we know what's happening. Yes, and make sure everyone is aware.
Well, yes, that sounds like a great plan, but I'm just not sure I can trust what we're saying is the whole truth now. I mean, I've kept nothing back from all of you.
You don't have like a vision where you're just murdered repeatedly, so it's kind of a difficult thing to bring up. You know, you don't press Grinner on his previous issues.
Friends, I was just tormented by visions of a being who might like to kill us all. We get tried to be killed here on like a daily basis. I'm just a bit shocked that you wouldn't think that this would impact.
So weirdly personal. This hag was going for just me. Like it wasn't going to affect any of you guys.
Well, what, you don't think you dying would affect any of us? You don't think that you're one of the 4 closest people that I have in this entire plane of existence, and you don't think that would cause any problems? You don't think it would not be me who would have to pick Tithla back up together when she falls apart because someone left again?
Yeah,
I could explain you going away to Jonor's just gone up to the farm. No,
Literally the last person left who hasn't left her. Oh man, it's a good
but
point.
no, you kept this from us. And what else? Well, nice. You tell you have visions that you're walking down this street and saw yourself strung up on a cross across the road, or something silly like that.
That did happen. I did tell you. I was hung from a banister, and
You have lots of visions.
Well, we've got we actually have surrogate a thing for that one, so just be wary of that one. You dying visions. That's not me doing it, it's surrogate. I do want to note that when you said you're not hiding anything else from us, 2 things. Jonor looks up. He then looks down to in his bag. So, you know, we were drinking at the Wizard of the Wines. Really, a lot of revelations come from there. So the new vampire bride of Strahd, told me that there was a particular item that would be of interest to me, and it was really, really of interest to me. Mm-hmm. And so, you guys went one way, and I went another way, and ended up with this this crystal ball, and it seems really helpful. But the thing is, when I touched it, I realized that it was sort of possessed in a way, or it was monitoring me, or something about the man who wrote my name possessed it in some way. So this ball, I think maybe I really want to use it, but it's probably a bad idea. Maybe I could use it to look at the hag. That could be helpful. So I collected this crystal ball. Yeah.
You watch as Jonor pulls out from his bag a sphere of what looks
I
like.
don't pull it out.
Oh, you don't pull it out. Okay,
I don't
cool.
pull it out.
Don't worry. I was going to describe its
know
physical
from-
appearance.
The
What does it
Palantir
look like?
remains perfectly covered.
Can we see it?
Yeah. No, Madam Ava said to not reveal it in her presence, so it's probably, knowing it, it's gonna probably give vision and information to those around. So, I mean, to the man in the castle. So,
Do you think it's
best not use. I honestly have no idea.
Oh, so if it's like just sitting in your pocket and it could hear, it's probably heard everything.
And
Like everything.
Look, that's quite possible, actually.
Yeah.
Do you know how long I've been sitting on this revelation for, Tom? It's been weeks.
Like, Tom has known this.
Months.
Wow.
you mean to tell me is that you've been carrying around an item that you know is being monitored by one of the people we are working against in the presence of us while we've been plotting against him, and you've been carrying it around because you think it's a nice, fun item for you to have? Is that about the summary of the debt?
I was gonna try and learn more information using it.
Did you?
Someone's definitely learned more information using it. But I don't think it is you.
I haven't actually used it yet. So
Why did you not tell us? This is so colossally naive to the point that it seems malicious.
Was it
that's a very fair point.
Do you have
Would
it
it
on
be
you?
in
Is
the
it in the
bag
bag
of
of holding? So
Oh.
Things
Would
do
you?
get
Yeah.
stored in the bag of holding. So I did pull it out on the boat trip. So on there, and when we were having that like cursed, the possessed corpse. So I brought it out near there and in the werewolf den. So I was
All the
showing,
major.
all those events. So as we were saying, you need to turn to Strahd. I made a very important, noted fact of bringing out the thing when I gave that, and then I put it away after that. I've said those things. So I wasn't carrying it.
Did you
out
just
the whole
bring it
time.
out in times when you wanted to tell secrets? Is that the only time you brought it out?
No, to telling secrets.
Like,
So
just keep secrets going on?
this made of give me one roundabout way of getting
Okay,
across
okay.
it. So
Yep.
Strahd wanted to. This ball is currently not out at the moment. Strahd may have wanted to know we were doing his will. When we tried to convince the werewolf leader to join him, I brought it out, so he's aware of that. And then
Also,
after
you did
that,
know that it was listening.
look, I detected it had some sort of divination or some sort of abjuration or something like that. So basically, I put it back away after that. So it saw some moments, but not the entirety of the last 20, 24, 48 hours.
Is this one of the items that he knew we took?
Yes. His wench. What was her name?
Katarina.
Wench.
His
Say that
wench.
anymore.
Yeah, you done.
Wow, I thought you two were friends.
Imagine what he says about
What,
you.
Jonor and Theo or Jonor and the wench?
Well, this lady, she gave me a little bit of a heads up to go grab it, and so when I went in the castle, I went there and grabbed it, and did tell Strahd that she told me, and I was told that's probably not good for her, but
Okay, so it's not. It's good to know that it's not just us you feel like betraying. It's also the other people trying to help you. That's good to know too.
Axel, while this is going on, would you mind going and getting one of those finely repaired spades that you made earlier?
So that Jonor can dig a grave for himself quicker.
Killian's just trying to lighten the mood now. You can feel tensions coming. He's trying to lighten the mood.
Okay, well, Blood is right. I think getting this all out is the only way we can rebuild trust and move forward. So I will ask you one more time, very plainly, Jonor, is there anything else you have been keeping from us?
well, I did get like these hags in the flour mill, they made me do like weird things I didn't think I'd do. Out of game. Owen, am I aware that I was cursed, and would I be able to articulate what that curse is? Do I understand?
The curse is ended. Yes. So as soon as the curse was broken, as soon as that influence was broken, you can speak about the curse. You can share what happened. Yes, absolutely.
So, just before Tithla was burnt, one of the hags pulled me aside just in that like cafeteria, and she looked into my eyes and planted something into my brain. And it was for me to get the party to commit the most evil acts I could get them to do. And so I got Luther to dig up a corpse in the abbey, and I knocked the old man's torch that was his grandfather's on the way up to Kresk. And there's a couple of things I did, which I'm just really not quite proud of.
That's why I killed those wolf kids, was because of you.
No, this is my time to get my traumas off my chest. Thank you, Tithla. That was
No trauma dumping for you.
No, Tithla, that's your trauma. You did that. That is all you.
Is this the part where we find out whether out of us as players, not our characters, but is this the part where we find out whether Jonor is still under Strahd's control or not?
He also took over. Now that you bring that up, in the dinner, he looked in. It's very similar to the hags. He looked into my eyes and befriended. Like he controlled me, made me his friend, and made me reveal things I wouldn't have normally revealed. So he can make you say things that you wouldn't normally want to say,
or in your case, not say. Okay, so that's it. I mean, that's also quite the revelation. But
Tithla, there's been a lot going on. You were warned that one of your party was a traitor.
I think Tithla's in a bad spot, and I think all of this happening, I think Tithla's going to make a sanity check.
That's fair. I was about to ask for one.
Piece of info comes into her mind, and she goes, "Traitor? I thought it was me. Maybe it's Jonor. I don't know what's happening. He didn't leave me. When could he have? Everyone else has left me." I have
fixed all of your sanity skill checks. They all now work perfectly every time. That is unfortunate, Tithla. Six is not so great.
Drop that down by one.
Yes, please. You should be able to do that on the. Brilliant. Matt and Ash, you will see at the bottom of your skills a brand new skill called Sanity.
Ignore that roll.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's cool.
Did you roll the same thing twice? You did. You rolled 6 again. Amazing. I have set it up so that you have a sanity check. So this is a failed sanity check. You have failed the DC, in this case by more than 5. It's not as bad as it could be. If it was more than 10,
not as bad as it has been.
This would have been very bad. More than 5 is only a reduced score of 1. Okay. First drops to 7, 6, or 5. You feel the madness deepening. This is a long-term madness. Could I please have a D100 roll?
Oh yes.
Can I just say this is incredible, because this is just a completely innocent thing that Bullet had just said. Not expecting any of this.
That's a 9.
I rolled a 9.
What is going on with these D100 rolls?
You broke Tithla.
This is Blood's fault.
Not to blame
Blood's fault.
Well, bye guys. It's been nice.
Hey Matt, I would have done it if you hadn't, because I was trying to antagonize him. I was going to call him out, and then you said it literally just before I did.
What was just being that's what Jonor does.
It was awesome.
Just completely innocently, not expecting any of this.
Tithla, can I please have a D10 roll to follow up your roll of 9 on a D100?
Also a 9.
Also a 9. Okay. This is going to affect you for 90 hours. So just enjoy that.
It's fucking 12 months in this game.
That's 2026.
That's the rest of the campaign.
It's never ending.
Look, technically, you didn't roll on the permanent madness table, but you kind of have with this one.
Oh no!
You feel compelled to repeat a specific activity over and over again. You've essentially developed OCD, such as washing hands, touching things, praying, or counting coins. Without repeating this activity, severe anxiety begins to take control.
More severe?
Yeah.
Than where we already are?
Crippling. We're upgrading from severe to crippling anxiety.
Have I had my long rest, and can I greater restoration this?
You have not had your full long rest yet, and even then, to remove madness, greater restoration would help.
We'll see what I
so
can
just
do.
keep in mind, so Tithla, you have now dropped below a score of 10, which will result in increasingly more chaotic and thoughtless actions being taken.
On sanity?
As in, like, you've dropped below the threshold. So if you calculate this, so it's essentially the skill becomes 8 plus your sanity skill check, which in this case is you've now dropped down to +1, which takes you below 10, so that's 9 total. Gotcha. You are now going to be taking increasingly more chaotic and thoughtless actions.
I can do that.
Yeah, which I thought killing a cave full of children was chaotic enough.
Whoa.
So that's very,
We
very.
just worked out that was Jonor's fault.
Hey, slightly disguised children.
Yeah.
Owen, can you write this down for me, please?
I'll send it through so you've got it all.
Thank you.
I'll copy and paste it. It's also up on the wiki if you need to find it. But I will also share it.
In the vein of being completely honest and to kind of try and take some of the heat off of Jonor after dropping him in it, I feel that there is something that I also need to admit to.
Okay, yeah, since we're in the group betrayal sharing circle, go right ahead.
Yeah, I should be in the center.
You're not a bad person. You can share.
Why did that sound like a threat?
Yeah.
That sounded almost threatening.
Ominous.
After the fight with the werewolf, during one of the conversations that Jonor and I has had with Madam Ava, the ball is away, isn't it, Jonor?
Oh yes, no, that's been in the bag of holding. It's only been out twice. It was on the ship and in the werewolf cave.
Okay. Well, during one of the conversations that we had with Madam Ava, I asked about the beings that give them their power, and after the werewolf fight, I decided to try and reach out to them to see if there was a deal that could be struck or something, to try and gauge what they are, to try and weaken both of them. It didn't go in my favor, and I would advise against any sort of contact with them. The legend lore thing, I think, was that is something that I don't actually know about, so scratch that bit, because I wasn't there for it. But
and he hasn't told us about it.
He hasn't told us.
It's funny you mentioned the Dark Powers, because this was the next thing I was about
Because
to
I know
mention.
nothing about them and I have nothing further to share, Your Honor. Jonor rests.
I have no memory of that.
No comment.
Jonor rests. No further questions.
I would avoid any form of contact or investigations or anything into the powers that control the pair of them, because they are not
bit
nice.
late.
What do you mean a bit late?
Well, I just spent the last a depth 10 minutes researching Dark Powers and the contract they can form, in particular with, the man in the hill and the man in the hole.
I look Jonor over to see if he has any frostbite marks on him anywhere.
No, looks fine.
As you look over expectingly, I pull out this book where I have all the tabbed documentation there, and I share the information I learnt. So it seems like you can't kill them because they'll come back. Sort of hard to teleport out of here because the dark powers are, the gatekeepers.
This brings back to Blood's point before. What are we fighting?
Each other.
Just apparently.
Well, yes, but no. Keep on track. We have brothers. One brother bad, one brother also bad, but
Worse, arguably.
So we fight one.
Right now we fight the worst, and if that doesn't resolve the situation for both us and the people here, we fight the bad. I think that's step one, step two.
Which one do we
but
fight
then
first?
the issue
The
with that
worst,
is
okay. Well, then they come back, yes, but yeah, that's a problem.
then we're still
Jonor's-
stuck here, and
Journal's research says that takes time. They don't come back immediately. It's a time thing. It takes a long time for them to return.
We know he is a lich. We know how to kill a lich. They have phylactery. We kill the phylactery, and then surely, you found these legends that say they come back. But if we kill this thing that's making them come back, there wouldn't be much point in the lich having a phylactery if the dark powers could just bring them back endlessly. I assume they need to have some kind of tether.
Yeah, it's a good point that Theo raises, Jonor. There must be some tether. Something.
I've just had a terrifying thought, and this could be something that you might be able to weigh in on, Jonor. You have mentioned
Okay.
about this spiritual moon thing that isn't actually a moon.
mm-hmm.
What if that's the phylactery? My understanding, at least from my world, is that a phylactery can be, or a spirit jar, depending on the type of lich that it is, can be anything. It doesn't have to be a small vial. It could literally be a world or a moon.
It's interesting because I don't remember who revealed this, but currently that moon is what supplies the power to the Lich. So as he consumes souls, that's where he gets it from. It's just like a convenient little funnel for him. So it kind of lines up in that way that is his phylactery.
That would be very hard to kill.
If we were able to perhaps like release these souls, get them out of this plane, it's still requires addressing the teleportation problem.
Blood cannot fly up and attack moon. Blood is good, but blood might be hard.
I think the souls are being drained into the Amber Temple, so I think that's probably a good starting place for where to investigate. But naturally, there'll be a lich and all of his undead there. I think we need to come packing, as they say. Perhaps we need to bring the allies we have. We have the Revenants, we have the Werewolves, we have Sen, we have that fish dude, we have Rictavio. Yeah, we have the Mad Mage now. We have the Abbot.
Werewolf.
The Mongol.
I actually don't think that's a very good idea.
Don't want to come with army.
I think what might be, because Strahd wants us to take him out, take his brother out. So why not use any forces that he has to draw his stuff out, and then we sneak into the temple and fight and try and kill Sergei, and then when it comes to us having to take him on, Strahd on, then that's when we bring our allies.
Well, I think that's
the final push.
Perfectly reasonable, except I expect Strahd would just say, I cannot move directly against him. Ho, ho, ho.
Theo, you saw he was building an army of vampire spawn behind the walls of Castle Ravenloft.
Well, yes, I'm sure he has an army, but he's not using it to defend the town as he said he would. He cannot move directly against him. That's why I had to go down there with Grinner and fight my ass off for 4 nights straight. So
maybe it's for us.
I mean, we can ask. We can ask if he can field an army of vampires spawn against him, lure him out, sneak on in, kill the lich, work out what's the deal with the Amber Temple. bada bim, and then if that works, that's great. But I suspect we'll find Jonor's best friend to be a little less forthcoming with the aid. But you're right; it can't hurt to have.
He's not my best friend. Hey, that's not all right.
That's not what you said in the castle.
He twisted my mind.
And you've just been having late night chats with him ever since.
What you're saying is we need to have a conversation with him to get to basically attack his brother.
Yes, I think we need to have that chat. Just say, hey, we took care of your werewolf problem, as agreed. We're doing in the next phase because we're working very strongly towards the goals that we all talked about. You sending an army of vampire spawn to go lure out his forces because we're good, but we can't kill a whole army of undead. That would help. We'll sneak in, kill your brother, bada bim, get on out of here. You send us home out of the mist. You get Barovia. Everyone wins. And then
so
is that
one issue? Yep. Sorry, Killian. Go on.
I was literally just going to say, is that our next course of action, or are we going to deal with Jonor's vision first? Because the last thing we need is him to be crippled by these visions right at a pinnacle moment in combat.
Fair point. We could go kill the hag, yes. Or maybe turn the hag to our side. The hag is powerful.
Are these hags at the windmill? Yes.
No, I was thinking hag is a drowned town. I assume they all know each other. I think they get together for a book club or something like that.
Oh.
The little hag classes.
Cool. Good.
I think hags kind of mean they're just old ladies, really.
Oh.
She seems awful and foul and well over 100.
Yeah, that's the red flag, right? Being well over 100. That's how you know. Gotta be evil.
After a certain age, a woman just becomes foul and horrible.
Is that right, Tom? Is that what you... No, we can't do that to him. That's too mean.
I agree. I think Jonor needs to be of right mind and fighting fit. If it means we kill hag, then we kill hag.
At the very least, if we kill her, that's one less ally for someone to use against us. And there was something in that town that the Ravens wanted.
They did.
As well.
Something Madame Ava mentioned again to you too, Jonor, when you had your card reading with her. Something else Jonor hasn't mentioned. Tom may have forgotten this, but Jonor does remember.
That's a genuine forget.
That's okay. Tom may have forgotten. Jonor doesn't forget.
Would Jonor have mentioned that?
It's only it's only been a day or two. It's been 3 days since Madame Ava met with you and told you this. Jonor, you remember she said there was a item there, an amulet of some sorts. That
just to be clear,
yes.
Sorry if I can jump in. It's only been 3 days since then. That's still not enough time to get rid of Tithla's madness.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
Just to be clear about these things.
We're going to end with what your OCD tick is by the end. We'll come back to you in a second. Have you thought about it? Do you have one in mind?
I'm trying.
Okay. Do you want some help? I'm happy to give you some.
I was feeling that maybe it would present itself.
Okay. Perfect. So, Jonor, you remember Madame Ava also said that your path leads back to the swamp, that there is an item there that could help protect you and empower you against the brothers.
I will share that as close to verbatim as I can.
Well, that settles it then.
Okay, yeah. Well, first step, try and save Grinner, try and save the wolf girl, save the dead wolf children.
Oh yeah.
Go to the drowned town, confront the hag. Go from there.
Grinner, when he was guiding us out of the castle, he very intentionally shoved this book from underneath his cloak and gave it to me. And I was just waiting for an appropriate time to share about this so the right words could be said. But every time this person is here, we're in combat, so I've not been able to bring out the book. So. Which genuinely, every time Raph is in the session, I try to bring out the book. Every time we end up in combat, every down session, genuinely, that's been the case for the last
I do know what's written in the book. If that's any help.
Okay, well, I was waiting for Raph, but it seemed very pertinent to.
Happy to. That is actually a pretty good cliffhanger to end on as well. Actually, as you pull out the book, you see a rough diary made of what looks like stripped out pages from another book that's been rebound in this rough-hewn leather. And it is filled with this very, very imprecise, very scattered handwriting that seems to be Grinner's handwriting. You probably haven't had much opportunity to see much of Grinner's handwriting, but you can see this looks like some sort of record, account, or diary. That he tried to sort of palm off to Jonor secretly.
Okay. If that's where we're ending it, remind me that I have full intent to insight check everyone to make sure no more.
No, let's do an inside check now. Let's do an inside check now. Go on. Go.
If that's okay, I know that's
no, that's absolutely fine.
PvP, but
no, let's do an inside check now.
So Jonor, Killian, Luther, Styx, Tithla.
That's a big weight.
Axel, did anyone else have anything to share?
Luther raises his hand. I've got one thing.
Yes, we know you're a vampire.
Oh, okay. Then no.
I think Tithla's like fiddling with her hands and just muttering to herself. He said someone was a traitor. Who could it be? He said someone was a traitor. Is it? Who could it be? Is it me? Is it Jonor? He said someone was a traitor.
Who said someone was a traitor?
S-Man.
When?
Yes, man.
S-Man. Oh, so you've seen him again?
Oh.
And you did not tell us?
I don't remember. I think it was when we visited.
Visited what?
His castle.
Do you not remember, Jacob?
I don't remember.
Okay, this was after the werewolf den when you ran off on your own. Not werewolf den, sorry. After the druids when you ran off on your own.
Yes.
It was when Raspit, when I was trying to find Raspit.
Yes.
Do not ask. Raspit's
I purposely glossed over anything to do with Raspit when explaining what the events have been.
We'll fight Strahd, and then we will take care of the real evil.
So the two evils in Barovia, Strahd and Sergei, pale in comparison to a guest character we had a couple of times. Andrew's character, Raspip, a gnome wizard sorcerer who just unbelievably evil.
D-bag.
Unbelievably evil. The bloodless coup was directly launched because he killed a bunch of people in town, really for not much reason. Because they took his ring. Yeah, they touched his stuff. Yeah. Directly antagonistic evil character. Which was fantastically fun as a DM to have, but for the players, I think was a bit of a bane for their assistance.
That's great.
Yeah, I think the last act he did before leaving the town of Alaki was polymorph a cat into a dog and give it to the gift it to the Gunter Arasek, the stockyard manager there. Be like, enjoy your new dog. Like just really like chaotic stuff.
That's great.
Yeah, it's quite fun. Perfect. Thea, do you want to make that perception check? Luther is there with you, but Styx is not currently with you. Styx is off with Irina.
I assume he doesn't tell lies. Perception or insight?
Sorry, you don't think Styx is lying to you guys?
Nah.
Cool. Insight
he's
check,
probably not
please.
programmed for lies. Insight?
Oh boy. Styx hasn't yet revealed that he now knows, and this is something some of you players know. Styx hasn't revealed yet that he now knows from what Sergei has told him in private that Sergei helped create Styx from the Sun Sword. Styx hasn't shared that with you, so there is shit Styx hasn't told you yet. 8 on the insight. Theo,
I'm going to use my inspiration.
That's fair. You don't need to. You've just been gifted advantage by Foxtrot.
Thank you.
Perfect timing. That's a good one to end on. 15.
A bit better.
Something is very wrong with Tithla. Very, very wrong. She is far more anxious. There's something really gnawing at her. Axel and Blood seem to have taken this all pretty well. Axel looks a bit suspicious of all of you with the revelations of what's been happening. As a military man, I get the feeling Axel will be a bit like, this isn't chain of command. This is what is going on here. Whereas Blood, you're more used to the kind of chaotic life of being a bit of an outlaw with your tribe. So this kind of stuff isn't that too dissimilar for you. Jonor seems to have shared most of what he knows. You don't think there's too much else there. If there is stuff Jonor hasn't shared with you, it's not because he's trying to hide it. It's because he doesn't think it's important or because he doesn't remember. Killian seems like he shared all the major things pretty honestly and openly. You're not sure if there's any other revelations Tithla has to share, but when you mentioned when did you last speak with him, and then she tried to talk about back at the Druids, yeah, that doesn't. There's a bit of a twinge there, and you're not sure if it's the anxiety or if she's lying. I think that's a good place to wrap
grill
up.
too much. Yeah, we'll leave
I reckon that's a good one to come back to next week.
But before we, is there anything that Theo hasn't told the team that I have forgotten as a player? I think I have shared everything.
No,
I think I shared my revelation from Ava, and I think that's about it. But just making
sure
I'm not the biggest hypocrite of all time here.
If I think of anything else, I'll let you know. But I think you've shared everything that you've learned. I don't think there's anything else that you've learned.
All right, I'll ask Styx next time then.
Awesome sauce. Thank you so much, everybody. That is where we're going to wrap up for tonight. We will be back next week with more Curse of Strahd, tomorrow night with Avatar Legends, and Wednesday night for Return of the Giants. For now, though, we are going to go and raid a lovely friend of the channel. For those of you watching on Twitch, we are going to go and raid RollTogether RPG. They are currently doing their Curse of Strahd, the Nothing But Mist playthrough. That is Curse of Strahd, isn't it? I'm not wrong.
It is, yeah, that's the last episode. Somehow they managed to get everything that we've done in 100 and something episodes into 4.
Are you fucking kidding me? No way. No.
Pretty much.
Just a casual 25x SB. That's
they've done the hag stuff in the first episode, the one in the windmill. They did that in the first episode.
It took us close to 10 to get to Barovia.
Yikes.
They just appeared there. They got there and fought the hag in the first episode. Hags.
Wow. All right.
Did any of them get burnt and eaten by an oven?
I was going to say, yeah, I don't think that happened.
Rob's not.
I don't think so.
Oh my god. Unbelievable. All right, well, let's go and raid them and see how they managed to do it so quickly. Awesome sauce. That raid's coming across. We will see you all again next time.
I'm not in that one, so I don't know.
No, fair enough. I don't know how to do a short campaign, so don't worry about me. We will see you all in the next one. Until then, stay safe, stay well, and see you guys again soon. Until next time. Bye, guys. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Yeah.